Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at our eBay turbo manifold and see what we bought. So here she is, Miss America. Actually, I don't think this came from America. There's some stuff to clean up in here. They tried a little bit, but I'm going to open that up just a little bit, make it look prettier. Big thing here is the V-band. I don't think I have one just laying around. I'll have to grab one. It's the V-band. I use Evil Energy just because that's a brand that I kind of trust better than most. That band is just a little bit smaller than this diameter here. Still fits inside, and the little lip goes inside of that, so that should seat well. I just don't know if the band is going to provide enough, on here. So I'm going to get one of those and mock that up, make sure this is good to go. If it is, we're going to rock it. If it's not, then I might have to weld another, V-band on the end of that, just so I know that my seal is good. I don't need that. I'm going to plug this, so I'm not too worried about that, I guess, O2 bung. There's a little bit of restriction in here, just where this pipe meets. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. I may clean some of this up, just open it up a little bit on either side, just so I'm getting flow. I guess it's going that way. The big thing that I noticed that I wanted to take care of is going to be, I can get this set up right. Hold please. So the big thing I wanted to get cleaned up is I wanted to open these up a little bit. They are smoother than most that I've seen, but that neck's down quite a bit. There's a whole lot of meat there, as you can see, so I can open these up. At least on the bottom I can. But the bigger thing is that casting stuff down in there, the junk that didn't get cleaned up. If I can get the camera to focus. It's on each one. I don't want that breaking apart and coming in and damaging something later. So I'm going to try to see if I can't sneak down in there and clean some of that up. Got some bits and sanding rolls and things, and we're just going to see what we can get going. So let's get to it. Well, we're at about an hour of progress here. This is another episode of tools and their uses. Thought I had more of these little finger belt sander belts, but I don't. That would have just cleaned this right up in there. Instead, the only thing I have that's actually doing anything is my little carbide bits. Got two of them. One's long, one's short. But it's getting in there. It's trying to clean up most of that casting, so I should be able to get my spark plugs in, plug wires in, and not destroy my finger. This is the one that I haven't really touched a lot, but slowly we're getting there. We're gonna keep putting time in. I also got inside a little bit and tried to smooth that out. And if I can get this to focus, I'll just drop that. And I got most of that slag out of there. Still got a little bit on that one to clean up. For the most part, I took most of it out and rounded up what I can reach with this little bit here. And yeah, looking pretty good. Keep moving forward, and then we'll attack this V-band. This is where we're going to stop for now. Got most of that cleaned up. I don't want to go too far into the actual pipes or tubes or whatever. I don't want to get too deep in there, but I think we're looking better than we were. And for what it is, it should be decent. Thought about opening up these little holes here, but with that die grinder, that'd take me a couple days. So this is where we're going to leave it for now. And now we're going to move on to this V-band. Let's see what we can do with that. Well, I got this V-band on. It's dirty, I know, but it's just not, it's not what I want it to be. It's close. The inner diameter is a little bit smaller. I mean, there's variances between these different brands of V-bands, but I think just to ensure that I have a good positive seal on there, I'm going to weld, I guess that'd be the male side. It's got the little ring on there, and the reason I like these ones over the other ones is they're usually If I get them all the same brand, they're the same tolerance. But get this out, I can show you. This one's got a recessed groove in there. And this one's got one that sticks out. You know, if you're past high school, you know how that works. So these two will engage and they kind of lock into each other, if you will. And then when you crimp it down with the clamp, it just, I don't know. If you got them straight, they don't leak, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to figure out how we're going to do this. Somehow get that V-band on there. Just looking at sizes and everything here, I don't think I like that. So I'm going to cut this band off, just the band portion, and then I'm going to weld that to the bottom. Well, that's that. Got that V-band welded on. I don't know if you hear it or not, but it's still doing the Rice Krispie snack crackle pop as it's cooling down. So while it does that, I like to tighten the other side on just so it doesn't warp. It actually had a pretty decent seal when I stuck this side and twisted it, kind of to seat it into this one. I let go and it didn't drop or anything, so it's just a good connection. So I like that better than what we had, that little guy. So we're gonna get this figured out. I think I'm gonna mock this up, kind of bolt this on, and then I got to get the wastegate out and figure out how I'm gonna do that. This is where we got to make some decisions. I was in my head wanting to come out straight out from here. I got a little 45 that's should be here in a few minutes that I could stick up here, then, you know, it would just sit on top, and then I could have the outlet of this tie into the downpipe. Number of things are going on that's right in the way of my drain, which I could put a 90 on that and bring it up and sneak this under, but then, you know, oil over exhaust, and that would mean the output, the exhaust, if you will, of this going into the downpipe would block or prevent me from using that oil fill, which I could swap valve covers side to side or what have you, but just trying to go over some options. It won't be as ideal if I come into the pipe there-ish and maybe bring the wastegate up here, but there's not enough room between the fender. If I try to sneak it back this way, I don't know, I don't really like that. I may be able to do something like this and come straight off. I could put a little flex in the pipe here going in the downpipe, but I don't know, that would put me at a 90 to the flow. At the boost levels I'm running, it probably won't be an issue, but I don't like any of these options. So I guess we'll look at it for a few more minutes and figure out what I'm gonna do. I think we're gonna go with right there. I think here-ish we'll keep it still in the flow. I'm right off of that 90 right there. Can't really go down here because it gets in the way of the drain line and everything else. I'm thinking right there is gonna work pretty good, and it still gives me a decent shot underneath the oil fill cap to get to the exhaust there into the downpipe, and I can still get that oil fill cap off when I need it. So I think that's gonna work. Well, I gotta take a moment of silence here for good old DeWalt. It's a good drill. Oh. Oh, never mind. Well, it was a good drill. I've had this guy since, good Lord, I think when the blue C10, when it was still black, I think I got this little guy. Built quite a few cars for this thing, but sadly it's mad. So I guess time for another one. But thanks, drill. All right, I'll bring you back in here. Kind of jumped ahead. Got this wastegate flange welded on there, and then I coated the manifold with that high temp paint, and I geared it with the blowtorch deal. It's fun for me. I don't know why I like doing that, but anyway, we got the wastegate on there. I think it's going to clear most of the way. I mean, we can clock that a little up and down and get that pipe around later. I took the cap off or the springs out just to make it easier to get this thing installed. So I'm going to get the top back on, springs in, top back on, and keep moving forward. Well, this is about all I can do on this for now. Got this little guy clocked in there just about where I want him. I'm running both the springs that came with it, so I think that's 11.6 pounds off the wastegate to start with. That should be more than enough to get me in trouble. Still got to read and figure out which one of these ports does what. Oil feed line is on there. I just had to get a, what is that, 1/8 inch NPT to AN4 adapter. And then this is that 60 inch universal oil feed that's off the little plate that goes down there above the oil filter. So 60 inch was good. Could have got a shorter one, but I wanted to be able to kind of tuck it up in there and do that to it. So I think that, besides me getting a gasket and bolts for the turbo so I can actually bolt that down, I think that is pretty much where that's going to live. I do have this loose so I can clock that. Once I get all of this back in here, I think I'm going to put all my piping in, and I don't know if I'm going to keep that aluminum pipe. I think I'm going to go with some steel pipe just because then I can weld the wastegate or the blow-off valve flange on there, and, you know, I don't like, anyways, reasons. Probably going to have to redo that tubing, get rid of some of those couplers, and just kind of weld it together. But anyways, when I get to that point and that pipe comes up, then I'll know what I need to do to go into the inlet and where that inlet needs to go. Surprisingly, that is a 2.5 inch inlet on that turbo with a 4 inch outlet or 4 inch exhaust. I'm learning turbos still. I was thinking that would be a 3 inch. I don't know why. Just seemed logical to me. The inlet here, where the air inlet is 4 inches, and the V-band on the back is 4 inches. I don't know. So anyway, that's 2.5 inch. My pipe is all 3 inch, so I'm gonna have to make something there. And what else? Oh, I had a bulkhead fitting for the timing cover. I was just gonna take a little AN10 bulkhead fitting and kind of put it in here, but it's just, there's not enough room in here to get that. Like, this is indexed and this is indexed for the oil pump bolts, so that tells you how close this is to the pan. So for me to drill a hole and put a fitting there and put the little nut on the back, I don't think I was going to have enough room. Probably down here I would, but this is in the way because that's part of the bolt that goes up. It's captured in here. That part is in the way, so that's a hard stop. I can't go any further down, can't go any further up because there's the oil pump bolt there. So what I'm saying is, this would be great if I had a welder. Another one of those things that I don't do aluminum yet. So I'm just going to get the ICT pan probably, and we'll take care of that. So when that comes in, then I can get that installed, get the balancer installed, get the water pump on, see where my oil drain is going to go, make my oil drain. You know, always waiting on parts. So that's pretty much it where we're at for today. All in all, that eBay manifold was not bad for the price if you got a little extra time. It did take me a lot of grinding and drilling and things. That the tube that comes up underneath the turbo, that 90 that it sits on the manifold, that thing is like 3/4 of an inch thick. So just beware what you're getting into when you're getting this stuff, or get one with the wastegate flange already welded on. But all in all, wasn't that bad. This is pretty easy to do for the most part. So thanks for watching, and hang in there because we're going to get the rest of this buttoned up in our next couple videos.
Action on fire. I just wake up and piss excellence, and I want to go fast.
You're not first, you're last.
I was high when I said that. Did real good. Car ran real good.